Hello, everybody, and welcome to this professional learning on transitioning to digital learning, high school performance tasks for visual arts. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going over how to acquaint you with the purpose and structure of the performance task, to give you some guidance for supporting students in completion of that task, and to provide you information on how to access support. Before we get started, though, a huge thank you to your advisory group members for giving up their time on spring break to create this task. Next time you see them, or if you see them virtually, give them a huge air high five. So quickly, just to give you an overview of what's going on at the high school level, students in grades 9 through 10 in the core classes of math, English, social studies, and science, and students that are off track to graduate in grades 11 and 12 will be continuing their education through Edgenuity classes. Edgenuity is our credit recovery software platform, but it has been vastly expanded to meet the needs of all of those students. If students are in concurrent enrollment classes, the teachers and the students will continue on with their syllabi and the materials and lesson plans that were in there, but they will be teaching that through a virtual learning experience, most likely through a Google Classroom. If students are on track to graduate in grades 11 and 12, or they're in an elective class, they will be completing one of these performance tasks. So what are performance tasks? Performance tasks were created for a way for students to demonstrate proficiency for work in quarter 4 aligned to the standards for the grade level and the content area. They are multi-step tasks that students engage with and complete in an online environment. Why were these tasks chosen? To provide a way for students to demonstrate their understanding and mastery of grade level standards. So let's go over a quick overview of the visual arts performance task. The students will be completing an artist research project. Students will choose an artist to research from one of the many different types of art. They will create a slideshow about this artist. Slides should include images and texts about the artist. There is an example included within the task. So here's one of the slides that explains in the task what the students are to do. So different pages and different slides that they need to include. Here is the example of an opening slide from the Proficient example created on the artist Swoon. There are two types of performance task. There is a weighted and an unweighted. In the unweighted, the students, this will be done by all students in all art classes. They will complete the slideshow and turn it in, or they can also do the optional 2 slides at the end. For a weighted class, so that's usually an honors class or an AP class, they will complete all the slides, but the 2 at the end are not optional. They will need to create the self piece based on inspiration from the artist, and then also an artist statement. Rubrics and grading. How will grading be done for Q4? First off, rubrics. There is a rubric included in the performance task so both students and teachers can see what they will be graded on and the feedback that you can provide. How grading will work is you will give a student a grade on their performance task. This is the only grade that will be entered into Infinite Campus for Q4. This is a no harm, no fault grading quarter, which basically says that no matter what the student gets on their performance task, they will get the higher of the 2 grades between the performance task and quarter 3. So if a student is to do the performance task and they had a C in quarter 3 and they get a D on the performance task, their quarter 3 grade would carry over and they would have a C for quarter 4. Here's the rubric. So the 3 areas that you're looking for the slideshow, you're looking at aesthetics, content, and the reflection piece. A couple of things to keep in mind and to consider as we move through this process is care. This disease and this situation are affecting students, families, communities, teachers, admins in all different ways. So please make sure that this is all based around meeting the needs of all of those different people and trying to take care of yourself as well as others. Allow for grace, not only with your students, but with yourself. You are learning a new process. This is all new for everybody. Grace to admins, grace to myself, and grace to families as well as we work through this in the best way possible. Keep it simple. We don't need to blow these tasks out and make them extremely difficult. Try and keep it simple. Give specific feedback to students so that they can make revisions and engage in this process in the best way possible. Be flexible, not only with yourself, but with your students. Give yourself time to take care of your needs and homeschool your own kids if that's a situation, or to care for dependents. But please be flexible, especially with myself and with other advisory group members and admins as we try and work through this process. With that, maintain a healthy work and life balance. I think one of the coolest parts of this is that there isn't really a 7 to 3 o'clock job anymore. This is all new to everybody, so make sure that if you are taking care of dependents, homeschooling kids, things like that, that you're giving yourself time to do that, but also make time for your students and for your work as well. Differentiation is the last one on here, so please make sure you are abiding by all IEP goals and 504 accommodations if that's necessary. Also remember that you are working with multi-language students, so providing some resources and supports for those students as well. So your role as a teacher in this whole process is the bare minimum is to post the performance task in a Google Classroom that you've created. And then through that Google Classroom, you'll have daily interactions with students by setting up office hours. Your building should help in support of this and a time frame that you are going to have office hours. But you can always check in one-on-one with kids through Google Hangouts or through email. Mainly just to provide feedback on their tasks, check in with them, see how they're doing, and maintain some of those relationships that you've already built. Now, on top of that, if you'd like to go above and beyond, you can create additional learning tasks or opportunities to support the performance task or any type of other resources you would like to share with students. You can also create opportunities for students to interact with each other, ask questions, get feedback, all through the Google Classroom as well. So real quickly on Google Classroom, there are going to be a lot of trainings and video tutorials done by the EdTech coaches that you can view or follow along with. If you've never created a Google Classroom, it's really user-friendly. And if you have any questions, you can always Google it. But it is a great platform for us to use to interact with students and each other. But in your Google Class, you're going to post your performance task. You'll post a link to your office hours, and that can be done through appointments through your Google Calendar. All you do is add conferencing, and it gives you a link to your Hangout, and then you just post that link. You can also post any supplemental materials in your Google Classroom for students to engage with, as far as stuff that you're pulling off of Facebook or social media, projects, things like that. And then also that, again, creating time for students to interact with each other. If you have any questions on this, there is an EdTech coach that's assigned to each learning community. So you can reach out to them for any technical support that you need around your Google Classroom. If you don't know who your EdTech coach is, you can follow this slide. It's broken up by learning community, so find your building, and then your EdTech coach is listed there, either Greg, Kyle, Jan, or Dusty. So moving forward, if you need any support of any kind, please let me know. I will have drop-in office hours as a Google Hangout from 8 to 9 every day next week. So if you just want to come in there and ask a quick question, that's fine. If you think it can be done through an email, you can do that as well. As soon as I've got all of these videos created, I should be able to be more attentive to my email, so I apologize for that. This last 2 weeks have just been crazy. And then another resource is always the help desk. The help desk is kind of going to become the filter for questions. So if you ask a question that you're not really sure who it needs to go to, they will be able to filter it and get it to the person it needs to go to answer it. But again, if you need anything, just reach out to me. I should be able to find that answer for you as well. And thank you so much for your patience and grace as we work through this process, and also getting onto a online platform and trying to make the best experience possible for kids in a worst case scenario. So thank you again for your time, and I hope to see you all real soon.